All right, welcome back to another episode of the IDP Lounge. I am joined again with my esteemed co-host at Hollywood Titan over there on the far left. Hollywood, how are you doing, bud?
What's going on, Joey? I'm doing pretty good, buddy.
Just living the life. Very happy to see you again. I missed you last weekend.
I did you. I missed you. I was like, where's Joey? I don't know what to do here.
It was weird. I had a freaking terrible headache. I was like, you know what, Hollywood, you're on your own, dude. I'm sorry, I can't do this. And we got two Jeezys again. Oh,
Yeah,
back to
yeah,
one
whatever.
Jeezy.
Yeah. You know, I'm
Jordan.
You know, I know I've had a few, but I don't know if I can do with this 2 and 1 Jeezy all night.
He's gonna mistaken his drunkenness.
Yeah.
All right. I'd like to introduce our guest. At the very bottom right, we have Will. He's the newest member of the IDP Guys staff. You can find him on Twitter at biasopinions_. Will, how you doing, bud? Welcome to the team.
I'm good, man. Happy to be on, man. So this is gonna be great, man. Definitely got the invite today to be on the stream. So I was like, yeah, let me get on. Talk some football and maybe some other subjects, man. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yep, we'll introduce Jeezy last, I'm thinking, because he just disappeared again. Top right now is Shane Barrett at FF Shane B. Shane, how you doing, bud?
Man, I'm good. We've been trying to connect and hop on a show together for a little bit, so
yeah,
I'm pumped to get on here. And whenever I get to work with Hollywood, it's always a good time, just because Hollywood is a national treasure.
He is a character. National treasure. I like that, actually. That's pretty spot on for Hollywood.
I've been called a lot of things, but I promise you, national treasure is not one of them.
I do wish he wore a lot more of his game day face paint during the IDP Lounge. I think I would appreciate that a lot more.
Oh, yeah.
Your Titans game day paint?
Break that out one night.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, it's make sure.
So we're going to have to make it. So we did this once with when it was me, Sean, and Andrew with was it the Dynasty Football Digest pod. We decided to do a power hour with football questions. So since I'm the sober one, I decided I would be the host, and I came up with a list of questions, and I had Sean, Nate, and Andrew all answer, and whoever I thought had the worst answer, I'd make them drink. And they literally they did a power hour, and let's just say Nate had to run about 30 minutes in because he was feeling a little under the weather. No, it was one of the funnest episodes I've ever been a part of because I was able to make my boss throw up.
Very true. Very true.
It was nice, but that was fun. That was a good time. I don't even know where I was going with that, but it was a good time. Our third guest on the bottom left now is Jeezy. You can find him on Twitter at official_ACG. Jeezy, how you doing, bud?
Man, just trying to get this internet situation figured out, but we out here.
So how's everybody doing tonight? Everybody doing good?
Chilling like a villain.
Yeah, man.
Good,
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, my pleasure. My pleasure. We've been having a couple of guests on. We've been talking about a lot of charity tournaments we got going on. The fantasy football community is absolutely phenomenal when it comes down to charity events. Like, there's so many going on now, and I'm in, so many myself right now. We have the IDP Guys has the IDP Invitational, and we've raised, I think, close to, it's like 3,000 or 4,000 this year. We had 2,000 our first year. It all goes towards Autism Speaks and autism awareness. We have Shane. You have, what is it? It's Polly's Playoff, and that goes to
the Alzheimer's Association.
Beautiful,
awesome.
Jeezy, you have one going on as well. What's the tournament you have going? I think he's freeze dancing on us. Hollywood, we'll get back to Jeezy in a minute. Why don't you go ahead?
I got two Jeezys again. Hang on, I got two Jeezys.
Hollywood, why don't you go tell us about what Seahawks Dan has going on with his eliminator? I know he's looking for some help filling one of them, I think, right?
Yep, he's got one more eliminator he needs to field. So if you're interested, hit him up at Seahawks Dan, and he'll get you set up. But I think we need maybe 2, 3, something like that to have that one filled. And it goes all the donations and stuff goes to Autism Speaks, which is a great charity. I love that. It's near and dear to his heart too. So go over and hit him up at Seahawks Dan 8, and he'll get you set up on that.
All right, Jeezy, you back with us?
We're trying.
While we have you, why don't you tell us real
can
quick?
you hear me okay?
Yeah, we got you good. While we have you, though, why don't you tell us about the tournament you started for charity? I'm in that one as well, but tell us a little bit about it. In a minute, Shane.
There he goes.
Shane, tell us about yours. Let's and let me ask you this: how come you chose to help out with Alzheimer's? Is there any special connection you have?
Yeah. So, if you guys have read the rules document for Paulie's Playoff, I actually talk a little bit about it. But my wife's grandmother passed away 2 years ago from Alzheimer's. So it is very, very near and dear to our heart. Because I hadn't really experienced it before, and then was kind of, I won't say thrown into it, but with her diagnosis, we all kind of had to go through it together. And I had to watch my wife and her parents and family kind of experience the loss of someone without them actually being gone.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, 100%, definitely.
And so I was actually in Scott Fishbowl 10 was my first Scott Fishbowl, and I was in Scott's division.
Oh,
so that was a really cool experience for me. But from there, like just talking to him in that and learning more about Scott Fishbowl through the chat, through the 106 chat that I was in, and just the community in general, I was like, I've got a big enough platform now. Why not do something with it? And so I wanted to target something that hit close to home and something that I knew needs support and awareness brought to it. So we started Paulie's Playoff last year. We started at 120 teams, and last year we raised over $5,000.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Nice,
this
man.
year we've doubled it to 240, and we are currently sitting at $5,588. So our goal is to get to 10,000 this year. We doubled the tournament, doubling our goal. So I'm in Pros with the Joes. I don't know if you're in that too or not, Joey. But I'm in Pros with
I don't
Joes.
think I'm in that one.
If you donate, basically they take a highest bidder approach, and whoever donates the most will actually get to draft and manage a team with me throughout the year. And you also will get a guest spot on the Fantasy Nightcap, my podcast.
Nice.
And a custom free graphic, either an avatar or a header from my co-host Fox, who is our lead graphic designer at the collective. So
nice.
Cool.
Yeah, it's got a very close place in my heart, and the reason that we're also trying to bring awareness to it is a top 10 killer in the United States, and is the only one in the top 10 that doesn't have a drug to cure or slow the symptoms.
Yeah.
So that is what we are working towards, is a cure.
That's fantastic. And to already be at 10,000 in 2 years and possibly up to 15,000 in 2 years, that's fantastic.
That's
that says something about our community, like the fantasy football community. It's like everybody looks at it like we're all a bunch of dorks. We play fantasy football, which we are. We're all a bunch of dorks that love fantasy football, but we're all a bunch of caring dorks. I mean, holy crap. You look at all of these charities, think of all of the money that has gone towards charity. We've all gone to we all have these pay leagues where we all have our money leagues and whatnot, but the amount of charity leagues that we go to, and now to use that towards charity as opposed to just winning money now, is absolutely phenomenal.
Yep.
It blows my mind. Jeezy, now I think we got you. You look like you're in screen.
I completely changed devices, so
all right. So why don't you tell us about the tournament you started? and why it's and what you have the donations going to and why you chose it.
So we had, I've been running leagues forever, and I just kind of just saw how the fantasy community just took initiative to run charity leagues, and I mean, like I've never in my life even thought about it. I'm all about charging, $100 leagues, and just getting to the money. And it just kind of just over the evolution and just seeing the bigger picture. And I thought, and just kind of seeing, with the Scott Fishbowl and stuff like that, and just being inspired by just the whole fantasy cares and all stuff like that. And, I'm a vet. And so I got with one of my buddies, Shane Barrett, and he was just like,
Damn it. I was ready for that too. It was getting good.
Man, that was going to be a good one.
Although we do have a beautiful freeze frame.
Don't we, though? Somebody screenshot that.
Well, while we're waiting for Jeezy to come back again, Will, why don't you tell us, you just met Nate. He's the creator of IDP, guys. You met him at the expo this year, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, this last week, man, it was a great event. It was a great event. I was actually on Clubhouse, and I was in a room, and we were talking about it. And two of the people that I'm in the room with pretty much on a daily basis, they mentioned it, and I was like, man, like that sounds cool. So like right then and there, I just went onto the website, purchased a ticket. I was like, you can't get a better value for this. Made the plans, and it was by far the best decision that I've made in a long, long time. So it was definitely a good one. I met Nate that night at the mixer. There was at the bar. So yeah, pretty much I had a great weekend. We had some conversations, and then talked about like joining the team and then doing some things up for the upcoming season. So definitely looking forward to that, man. Definitely looking forward to that. One of the things that I like aside from fantasy is the whole like sports betting side, and player props. So I'm a big player props guy. I've been in the sports betting world since 2004. So seeing the evolution from like, sending money to Costa Rica, Nicaragua, and Philippines to now being able to do it legit here in the States, it's a good thing, It's a good thing.
Definitely.
So very, very familiar with MoneyGram and Western Union, but it's just one of the things that it's going there. When you look at fantasy now, you can't just talk about fantasy. It has to be fantasy DFS, and I think the way it's going, especially like in the upcoming future, if not now, is in the sports betting world. Because player props is a big thing, so it essentially goes hand in hand with it. So
yeah, DFS is definitely growing in the fantasy community, I feel like, and there's a decent amount of DFS guys out there, but it's only going to get bigger. So
absolutely.
All right, easy. Finish where you were going with that, because it was starting to get good, and then we had a freeze frame of your beautiful smile.
yeah, all I saw was little circles, and then I was like, oh man, here we go again. I'm like but so I got my Barretts mixed up. Zach Barrett. Sorry, Shane, you don't get any credit for this one. But he's a Marine, and he was in the ACG Invitational last year.
Mm-hmm.
And so last year it was strictly just, I created this insane prize pool, and winner got a signed football. And so this year we talked in office, and we're like, hey, let's think about charity events and stuff like that. And so we both were vets, and so we rebranded and we kind of partnered up, and so we just called it ACG for the Vets Invitational, and we partnered up with Freedom Service Dogs of America. I love it's, and if you ever looked at the chat, it's at some point it's going to turn into look at my dog.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody in there we're dog lovers. There's a whole bunch of us in who are vets. And so just that specific charity basically takes service dogs and rehomes them, and trains. And it's just, it's beautiful work that they do.
Mm-hmm.
And so, we still have the monster prize pool, Like I think this year I added a bunch of stuff because I'm a bit of a degenerate. So I jump on Pristine Auction, and like we got a Kenny Galladay jersey, I got a Swift jersey, another Judy jersey, a Miles Sanders jersey. I tried to get a CeeDee Lamb signed helmet, but I got outbid. So I got an Akers.
I bet that jacked up pretty quick.
Yeah, I got an Akers helmet, and then he lost his leg. So
He's still good.
I want to find something. I just got a Deion Sanders signed football.
Ooh.
So I might throw that in there.
That's a good consolation prize right there.
So, I might throw that in. And so I got a JT autograph pictures. So it's just so what I did is it's kind of like the fake fish, and so we use the Scott Fish scoring because honestly, that scoring is pretty cool.
It's pretty intense.
I've adopted that scoring in a lot of my leagues on the offensive side. I just like, I'm a commissioner of just tons of leagues, and so I'm always looking for just something from the standard scoring, and his specific scoring setup, I love it. And but I'm an IDP guy, so I kind of have my own defensive scoring. So I've kind of like mixed. And I made a full PPR because that half stuff was I don't like it. But so I've kind of adopted his scoring, used my defense on certain leagues, and it's like I said, it's kind of just like a little fake fish. But I mean, we're giving away money, we're giving away prizes, and we're hoping to double in size next year.
I'm coming for you, Jeezy.
Are you? Sounds good.
I'm in it.
Oh, me too. Me too. I'm there too.
No, you are, but I mean, good luck, man. I mean,
and I would like to say thank you for your service, by the way, as well.
No worries.
We appreciate it.
No good commissioner doesn't rig the deck in their favor.
Well, see, that may be true, but my dumbass auctioned off my second round pick.
Ooh, I saw that. What'd you got? You got something shitty.
In Paulie's playoff, yeah. My co-host and one of the other co-founders of the collective, Nick Sarnelli, teamed up to donate $50, and they made me pick Tim Tebow at the 201.
That's right.
Yikes.
201 too.
Obviously, before he was cut. So then now he's been cut.
That's tough.
So even before it was worthless.
So not only do you have Tim Tebow on your team, but you have Tim Tebow who is now unrostered on your team.
Exactly.
He's not getting another job. So.
No, that's like a kick between the legs.
Yeah.
Well, you know what?
I thought about auctioning. I had 1-1 in the that Warrior Bowl, and I was this close. But
you would have got Tim Tebow at 1-1.
I don't trust y'all.
Or Matt Barkley.
Yeah, it'd
have been something ratchet.
I would have.
They should have kept Tebow to sell jerseys though.
That's exactly that was my thought process. Right, I was like, okay, he went to UF. He's like still beloved in Jacksonville, right? But I was so tempted. Listen, I was so tempted. The line for him, it was like 0.5 touchdowns. Like to catch this year? I was so tempted to I was so tempted to take it on FanDuel, but I was like, you know what? There's a reason why this number is too low. I was like, it should be at least 1. Like if it was 1, I would have took it all day, but I was like 0.5. I was like, so I was like, so something told me that he wasn't gonna make the team, but I would have at least thought that he would have made the team just for the simple fact that he went to UF, he played for Urban Myers, and you know what I'm saying, he's like beloved in Jacksonville. So people like live and breathe Tim Tebow.
And they don't have a tight end.
That's what I'm just put him on a special team. Exactly. I don't know, like
right, make him a gunner.
Yeah, you couldn't find a spot for him on the 53-man roster.
I know.
I mean, he literally could have been man 53. You can't tell me you need man 53.
Just put that guy, put him on the bench.
The Milwaukee Bucks, in basketball, just won the championship, and the last guy on their bench, his whole purpose in life is to be the cheerleader. He's Giannis's bigger brother, So
I think it was part of the contract.
of
Right. So that's
nepotism
another
there.
thing.
And he just got re-signed too.
Okay,
Well,
he's
of
part of
course,
the contract. He has to be part
you're
of the
not going to
contract.
cut Giannis's brother. Okay, it's just he's
I need
going
friends
to
like
be.
that in my life.
Yeah, right.
But I mean, an NBA roster, you kind of need everybody. And if they were able to say, you know what, the 15th guy, you're just a cheerleader. The Jacksonville, I'm pretty sure, could have spared number 53 because, yeah, Tebow would have. I mean, this chart jersey's cool and all, but Tebow jerseys are going to go through the roof.
Well, I mean, like
Oh,
Tebow,
yeah.
Tebow's he's not a dumb guy. He's a smart player. I mean, he seems like he is at least. But I mean,
Right.
I feel like he could have sat there and helped coach some of these guys. Like he's been one of the most ridiculed players of all time, and he just keeps trying to persevere to play and going through different positions. Like he's now tried out 2 different positions, played pretty much 3 by playing a halfback as well. It's like, I mean, that's some pretty good knowledge to bring to some of these young guys on the team. I feel like you could have him instead of Reichwell Armstead.
Exactly.
They still roster Reichwell Armstead?
Exactly.
Come on, man! I'm a super Armstead truther, man. I'm holding out hope.
You know what?
man.
I feel bad for him because last year he kind of got screwed with the whole COVID deal, but
Yeah,
But he could have definitely been like a locker room guy, like by far. He could've
Yeah,
been
exactly.
100%.
you need the locker room guys, man. That matters.
That's it, man. I mean, I don't know, like being assistant to like the strength and conditioning coach, something.
Yeah.
He could have found a role. So we'll see what he does. I mean, I know he still has the gig on ESPN or on TV talking college football and stuff. So we'll probably go back to that. But yeah, I think it's time, man. He tried baseball, that didn't really pan out. Tried NFL, obviously that didn't pan out. He had
forgot he was in
that lucky
baseball.
game. I still can't forgive him for that game that he had in Denver, throwing that touchdown pass. I lost money on that. I was like, what's going on, guys? You guys, what's going on? This should have been an easy bet, but it wasn't.
no,
very upset.
Demaryius Thomas, man. That was Demaryius Thomas.
Yeah.
I mean, he could always start a mega church.
That's
Do that.
Right.
that's a good,
You do it.
Joe Olstein or something.
All right,
Yeah,
so
so we were speaking of Scott Fishbowl a minute ago. Sorry to interrupt you, Joey, but
no, go ahead.
the IDP Invitational's kind of adopted some of the Scott Fishbowl scoring. And the reason I mention this is our buddy Brian Grow. He's like, how are you liking your ID Invitational team? I'm loving my team because I think it's a winner. So,
Where are you guys? What round are you guys in right
signed
now?
up for this. I think we're getting pretty deep. I don't know. I'd have to go look right off. But we're
just
moving
finished,
we're moving along.
We just finished earlier today. We're done. Pretty excited about that.
Well, who you got on your team? Bunch of losers? It don't matter who you got.
100%. Yeah, they're all crappy.
It don't matter. who you
I have Blake Martinez. I know you really like Blake Martinez.
Green Bay should
Well,
have never.
see, that makes me happy because I know you listen to me when you say those words.
I love Blake. Listen,
That's
as a diehard
true. And
Giants
I
fan,
what's that?
love Blake
Oh,
Martinez. As a diehard Giants fan, love Blake. Now, so here's the funny thing. Okay, so I've been playing fantasy since 06, right? This is my first year doing IDP, and I'm not nervous. But I'm in a total of 12 leagues right now. In one league, I may or may not have one Giants player on every single defensive position. So I'm all in. Let's just say I'm all in. I am all in on that. All in.
I mean, at least they have a good defense.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So you could be worse off.
Yeah.
You could definitely be worse off.
All right.
But you could have one player from every position in Dallas.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be.
Dallas fan, like.
That over under. I'm just gonna tell you guys right now that over under is gonna hit. It's at 51.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna be I mean, it might be at like 30 points by halftime.
Ooh. That's fire.
That's rough.
Everybody here has their own team, right? They root for, right?
Oh yeah.
I have three.
Like-
I like it.
Of course you do, Shane. Why would you not have 3 teams, dude? Really?
At what point did you start? If you have started, but I'm assuming at some point you have. At what point did you start drafting players off your rival team?
Oh, see,
Never.
I'm able to separate my actual team fandom from fantasy
Some people
football.
can't.
I know, and I have
Oh,
actually a
hell
guy
no.
in my home league who's a Broncos fan, and I homer him so bad for it. He was always picking Von Miller, and he's starting him as a linebacker. I'm like, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. You're a freaking homer. Stop it. I bust his balls all the time for it, and he
Why
always
you
ends
gotta
up
do
with like,
that? There's nothing wrong with being a homer.
oh, there's nothing wrong with being a homer, but you got to learn to separate, or else your team's going to look like a pile of trash.
Not
Thankfully for
necessarily.
me,
Hollywood. Oh,
Not necessarily.
thankfully for me,
there's
the
a-
rivals, the Bears, so they suck.
So I haven't. So me being a diehard Giants fan,
Mhm.
I don't mind drafting like players from the Washington football team or even the Eagles, but I don't touch any Cowboys players at all. But then again, they're just not good, so it's fine. They're not good, so it's all good. It's
Their
all good.
offense is
that's
You
how
good.
better be
like-
talking about the defense only, Will.
That
Well, I mean-
offense is pretty good.
Well, listen, think about it. I've had some people in the first round take Dak Prescott. I'm like, are you guys serious? And I'm looking at the other like quarterbacks are on the roster. Listen, I may consider CD Lamb, but he's never been there. He's never been there by the time like it's time for me to
Yeah.
Your league mates basically let you off the hook.
Will, my only response to you is Daniel freaking Jones.
Okay, first of all, okay, that's a good one. I like that, Shane. Okay, if you know what, I was thinking today. I'm in a draft right now. I'm actually drafting right now on Sleeper. Right, it's a 16-team league, and it's a super flex. I was tempted. I was tempted to take Danny Dimes.
Okay, I'm gonna be
But
honest with you though,
But
Will.
you got to think about the rushing. Listen, the rushing factor is a big thing. I'm all about rushing quarterbacks. All about them. So.
No, I'll be honest with you, Will. I think he's going to surprise people from a
Mhm.
fantasy perspective this year. I think Kenny G is. I'm not going to compare him to Stephon Diggs with Josh Allen, but I could see a similar type ascension with Jones because that's the best receiver he's had since Odell's been out of town.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think he got to play with Odell, if I remember right. So, like, that right there should help just by making his life easier because he's got a talented receiver. They've had wide receiver twos on their team and no true alpha. Now they've got that true alpha. He's just got to stay healthy. If he does, then Daniel Jones can ascend this year, I think.
Oh yeah, and Kenny G thrives at catching the deep ball, and that's pretty much Daniel Jones' best thing is his deep ball.
Right, and then also think about it. I mean, we just didn't have like the best of luck the last couple of years, right? So last year he came as obviously the starter, but then Saquon got hurt in Chicago, right, in the game against Chicago. So you take out a player like that, which is also a good running back coming out the backfield. You had
now your offense becomes one dimensional.
He wasn't healthy. Evan Ingram can't catch a cold or anything, so that's not good.
What the hell happened to him?
I mean, this
is Evan Ingram and MVS trying to catch.
Right. It's just I hope he spent a lot of time this offseason with the juggling
with the stickum.
I really do. That too. Listen, whatever works. I'm all about that. You got to cut corners sometimes. I'm all about that. It's all good.
You think about it. The Giants,
you're not trying, right?
The Giants 100% set up Daniel Jones to succeed this year.
Oh yeah.
They bring back Barkley. They add Kyle Rudolph, who's a 100% freaking Jason Garrett guy. Like that's your Jason Witten right there. That's Jason Garrett's Jason Witten. Then you draft Kadarius Toney. Sterling Shepard seems to be healthy.
Right.
So I mean, you have a decent receiver core. I mean, you still have Darius Slayton. Darius Slayton's like your wide receiver 3-4, who actually played well last year.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you have like it's not like an amazing group, but it's 100% the best group that Daniel Jones has played with.
There's no need for that. They're not an amazing group. They are.
It's a good group.
I just think, you know what, to be honest with you, I just think that it's going to be between us and Dallas competing for that first spot in the NFC East.
Watch out for Washington, man. That defense is stout.
I'm all in on Washington.
I don't know if Giants are really in it.
Fitzpatrick, or are you rolling with Fitzpatrick though?
Yeah.
Hell
Well,
yeah.
I mean, I like Fitzpatrick just because of the fact that he is like zero fear and zero care. Like he doesn't care if he throws an interception. He's got that Brett Favre syndrome bad.
Yep.
Right.
Like if he likes to throw, he's going to take it no matter what. And I kind of like that with the Washington football team. I mean, he's got
With the receivers
Diami
they
Brown
have?
now.
Hell yeah.
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 Diami Brown, Terry McLaurin, Logan Thomas, and then you add an Antonio Gibson, J.D. McKissick, Curtis Samuel. Thank you. And then you just add that defense. That defense is unbelievable. Like that front line: Sweet, Payne, Jonathan Allen, Chase Young. They had Jamin Davis. Cole Holcomb made a nice leap last year, and then you have Cameron Curl, who played phenomenal last year, and Landon Collins coming back. So it's literally one of the best defenses from front to back in the NFL.
Are you guys ready for a fun fact though?
I am.
Oh no.
Danny Dimes is undefeated against the Washington football team. I'm just gonna put that out there, guys. I think that this streak is gonna continue.
No, you know what? It's a thing though. It's like it's conference games, man. Like it's like New England. New England, look how even when Tom Brady was in New England, he always had problems with Miami Dolphins. No matter what, they always lost one game to the Dolphins every year, no matter how shitty they were. He always did. So it's like I'm not saying that Washington's shitty, but I'm saying like it's those conference games. So Danny Dimes can go in and easily keep that going because he's got this weird confidence for him playing Washington.
Right. I'm all for it, man. Like, but you know what? To your point, like, is this coming up on whether it's a make or break year for him. So if he does well, I'm glad to have you back. If not, we're gonna have to Rosen him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Josh Rosen. And get rid of him. So
now,
I think I'm gonna be watching. I think I'm gonna be watching some or not actually watching, streaming some Liberty games. And watching Malik Willis. I think that he'd be a good yes sir. He'd be a good pickup for us. So, I'm all for it, man. You got to get out where you can. You know what I'm saying? I'm all about abandoning ship at the right time. And if Danny Dimes doesn't come through, I hope he does. And if he doesn't, damn, Daniel, you got to go.
And the good news is you guys have some decent draft capital next year, don't you? Didn't you just trade and you got extra picks in this last draft?
Yeah, because I tell you what, man, the Eagles, that stunt that they pulled, because we definitely wanted Smith. We definitely wanted Smith. So that stunt that they pulled, and then we'll see. I think that the Bears are not going to do as well as people think, or at least I hope that they don't. So I think we're going to have a pretty good draft pick for them. It should definitely be like top 10. It should definitely be top 10. I don't care who's starting, whether it's Dalton or Justin Fields. I just don't think that they're going
to be top 10 because they start Andy Dalton for too long.
There we go.
Are the Giants picking up Danny's fifth year? Do you think?
I think it all depends on this year. I think.
Yeah, I would agree. It depends on this year.
Yeah.
Now, I'm a 49ers fan. I have a beautiful football behind me signed by Jerry Rice.
Nice.
It's my prized possession. What do you guys think about the 49ers this year? It's great. You can't see it. Shit. It's behind me. It's back there on the table.
We'll take your word for it.
I'll grab it later if you really want me to. But what do you guys think about the 49ers this year? I personally think that they are a playoff team. I think they're the second best team in the NFC West, if not the first. That NFC West is pretty stacked. It's a pretty strong division.
Right.
What do you guys think?
So
the division is crazy.
If you watch the Wednesday night game, right? And you watch the Mullins come in and pretty much stink up, you have to give Kyle Shanahan his flowers, right? If you just look at what he did in Atlanta with Matty Ice, and then the magic that he was able to
that was cold. That was freaking cold, man.
Not like that. Listen to me. Not like that.
He just said Matty Slush. Wow.
If you were able to see what he did,
he slid it in there.
He did.
And then Garoppolo. I mean, Garoppolo was pretty decent because he was decent in New England before he came over. But just the magic that he's able to do with the quarterbacks is something phenomenal. So I think he definitely has a good He's just like an offensive quarterback.
He's a quarterback mastermind, dude.
Yeah, he's a mastermind. So you have to give him his props, and I just think that he needs his players in the position for him to run his offense.
Mhm.
So I think that this year they're going to definitely do their thing and definitely make the playoffs. I could see it. Also, you got to depend on Kittle. You know, Kittle has to stay healthy because when he's on the field, man, he's a beast. But then obviously, you know, the best of ability is availability.
Right.
So he just has to be up there. You know.
Right.
Hey,
Jeezy, what were you going to say?
Are they married to Jimmy G? Because
Oh, no.
I
Not
mean,
by any means.
I still have you know, PTSD from that team embarrassing my Packers, and he did nothing.
Oh, yeah. They ran the ball, like 43 times?
He did nothing, and they blew Green Bay out the stadium. And I still cry myself to sleep over that.
Because they couldn't stop the run. It's just like, all right, let's just get this outside zone scheme going and just have fun with it. They couldn't stop it whatsoever.
They need the young boy. I want to see what he does.
Yeah. Yeah. So with Jimmy G, they're saying he's a starter right now, but what I love hearing about is in camp, it's like him and Trey Lance, neither of them have a big head about each other. They help each other out. They talk to each other. They know Jimmy G's the starter right now, but if it happens down the road, even this season that Trey Lance gets put in, Jimmy G's would have been like, well, I had my run. I wasn't the best I could be. I wasn't available half the time. So they've already been pretty cool with each other.
That's the real problem is Jimmy G just hadn't been healthy.
Right. I mean, when he's what, 22-8 as a starter.
Yeah. So, all right. You ready for my
I do.
take, if you will, about the 49ers?
Yes.
They'll make the play. Their whole team, if they stay healthy, will make the playoffs. Quarterback doesn't matter. Yep. The 49ers need to sit Trey Lance all year long. Yes, hold on. Because if you look at guys like David Carr and Andrew Luck and Carson Wentz, guys who started immediately with shitty O-lines and I don't know the 49ers.
It's not great. They're good on tackles, but in the middle they're not good.
Yeah. So those guys all retired early. If you look at Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers, they both sat for at least a year behind a veteran quarterback, and now they're two of the best quarterbacks in the league.
Mm-hmm.
I want and
Tom Brady did for a few years behind Drew Bledsoe.
Exactly. Jimmy G has also been through everything. Being injured, dealing with the media, coming back from injury, making it to a Super Bowl. That's veteran experience that you don't get everywhere in the league.
Right.
So if you let Lance sit behind him and learn for a year, I think Lance's career in the long-term trajectory of this team will be so much better off. Mm-hmm. And I think if Jimmy G stays healthy this year, they can still make a deep playoff run with Jimmy G.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's how talented the rest of the team is.
The one reason I really want to see Trey Lance, I think you were right. I think this year they need to run it with Jimmy G. But if they go into their week 6 bye and they have a losing record, I would not be surprised if they toy with the idea of starting Lance after that, because they still have playoff and championship aspirations this year.
What about the other Trey?
What's that?
What about the other Trey?
Which other Trey?
Oh, Sermon.
Oh, Sermon? Oh, I love it. I love the fact that they so he's obviously a Kyle Shanahan guy because Shanahan traded up for him. So like Shanahan's always been known for taking late round running backs and making them gold. He made Matt Breida look good. He took Raheem Mostert off of special teams, and now he's the starting running back. And he does all that, but this time he says, this is my guy. Our offense is good. This is my guy. I want to trade up. I want to grab him. He fits my scheme perfectly. So I think as much as I love Mostert and what he's done with the team, I think it's going to be Trey Sermon who's going to lead the team in carries. I do love that. I agree. But with what I was saying about Trey Lance, what I love to see with Trey Lance with Kyle Shanahan. So I watched a press conference when they were talking with Shanahan, and they said he said himself, he's like, I've always been pegged to have a type of quarterback, and everybody thinks that I'm a pocket quarterback kind of guy. He's like, I've had Matt Ryan, I've had Kirk Cousins, I have Jimmy G. He's like, the only reason I'm a pocket quarterback kind of guy is because that's the only personnel I've ever had. He's like, I'm a guy that likes to get out of the pocket. I'm a guy that likes to run RPOs. He's like, I've just never had a quarterback that I can run RPOs with. He's like, with the offense we have now with this outside zone, and we bring Trey Lance into the scheme, it opens up our playbook to the full extent that I have. And like his playbook is phenomenal as is, especially in the running game. So just to see the full effect of his running game and his offense, I'm excited.
Yeah, so that's the thing. I mean, nowadays you need to be a running quarterback in order to be successful, in my opinion. Now you do have those outliers like Tom Brady and like Drew Brees a couple years ago, but for the most part, I think like the Herberts, the Loves are going to be successful. Even Justin Fields, right? And that's why I'm kind of high on Danny Dimes, not just because he plays for my team, but he could also get out the pocket. You know what I'm saying? When times get rough, which is a lot of times, unfortunately. For us, he get out that pocket and make some things happen, right?
Just tell him to keep his footwork like 60 yards down the field.
You know what? So I like that. I like that. A lot of people bring that up, but the good thing was that we didn't have to settle for a field goal.
Right.
So we did end up scoring. We just didn't score right away, which we should have. But I think that's like the sprinkler. I think that's what happened. The scheduled time for the sprinklers, and so it came up and tripped them. I don't know if you guys saw it. These people think he tripped over air, but he didn't.
Oh, it's funny. I think it's funny. It's just funny to see it happen. I mean, a lot of people make fun of him for it. It's like, listen, he just beat the entire team down the field, so you're going to pick on the guy for beating the entire team, but he tripped. Which, I mean, it's funny as hell to see the guy beat an entire team. It's like he could go. I can hear Berman, and all of a sudden, just boom, flat in his face.
But Shane, I just don't think that if Garoppolo's in there for the whole year, I just don't think that they're going to be able to make the playoff because he is unable to run Shanahan's offense successfully. I just think he's not able. I mean, listen, just think about this. If you go to sometimes when he messes up, which is a lot, and they turn the camera over to Shanahan, just look at the face of disgust on his face. I mean,
it's funny that you bring that up. Because there was a play that I saw on Twitter this week. It was like the moment we knew Shanahan was done. And I think it might have been Kittle or another tight end. But, like, literally, Jimmy G is running to his right, and the tight end is running to the left, and is literally standing in the middle of the field with nobody in 10 yards of him. And I'm pretty sure Jimmy G threw it about 20 yards away from him. And you just see Shanahan sitting there on the sidelines like, what the hell?
Yeah. He's not able to run the offense. So I think that it depends also. It's going to depend on how they start the season, right? I think like, hey, and also you got to think about it's not like they just waited for that pick, right? They moved up.
Oh, quite a bit. They traded a lot for that pick.
So it's one of those things where you got to if I think he has a short leash and rightfully so, you've had enough time to come in and prove yourself and do your thing. You didn't, so you got to pull them. You know what I'm saying? Again, I mean, at the end of the day, this is not Care Bear University. It's the NFL. So you gotta show and prove. You gotta show and prove.
Yeah, and what do you guys think about Trey Sermon? I know I gave you my take on Trey Sermon. Do you guys think he's going to lead the team in carries or what?
He should. I mean, like I said, I'm a Big Ten guy, from Wisconsin, and as much as I hate watch Ohio State, I mean the kid's explosive. He should come in. I mean, we're talking about Mostert, who should be packing grocery bags at Publix right now.
He's an elite special teamer.
That's fine, but he that's where he should be, and I hate him. But no, Trey absolutely will out touch just everybody else. It's just a matter of him earning it, which shouldn't take very long.
Mm-hmm. I do think that if they have such a run-heavy offense, I mean, they can put out 3 running backs every year with, like 125, 150 carries. It's unbelievable the amount that they do. I think last year they had 3 running backs all with over, I forgot what it was, but it was Jerick McKinnon, Jeff Wilson, and Mostert. they all had their hand on the football quite often. So, and they were all pretty productive. So honestly, Jeff Wilson's coming back. Trey Sermon's there. Raheem Mostert's healthy. So we'll see. I mean, I don't think if they're going to feed him if they don't have to. I think they will lean on the running game, especially if Jimmy G's their quarterback. They're going to lean on it pretty heavily, much like the game in Green Bay. If they can just pound the ball down your throat, I think they're going to do that. They're not going to make Jimmy G win the game for you. They're going to have him manage the game for you and make him do something when he has to, but they're going to try to keep that as low key as possible.
And let's be honest. Like, I mean, if I had to choose how I wanted to die from the 49ers, I would like it to be done by the hands of Sermon and Wayne Gallman. I don't care.
Wayne Gallman,
that's a man who, you know what, he needs a fair shake, man. He can be the number 2 in that offense.
I mean, it's possible.
He can. I mean, he did do his thing last year with us once Saquon went out.
Mm-hmm.
But I think you're right. I think you're right, Jeezy. Is just if you look at the way that Shanahan uses his running backs, it's a running back committee. That's why I'm not. Every time I've done a draft, I'd stay away from the running backs.
Pisses me off how much Shanahan uses a running back by committee.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's awful.
You can have a guy averaging like 6 yards per carry, and he's taking him out after one run. It's like,
and he can do it with bum running backs.
I know.
Yeah, I'm like, is he hurt? Like, does he need a water break? Does he need to go to the bathroom? What are you doing right now? You know, like I'm watching.
Yeah.
You know what it is? He hates fantasy football. Is what he is.
Yeah.
No, you know what he's doing? He's looking every week. He's like, all right, who's playing? Who am I playing? He's actually playing fantasy football. He's like, all right, no, Jeff, get on the bench. Get on the bench.
He's doing IDP. He's doing IDP. He's the IDP thing.
So my thoughts on Sermon are from a fantasy perspective this year. I'll take him. Like, I like him for this year, but from a dynasty perspective, I'm all over him because Mostert's out after this year. I think Jeff Wilson might be out after this year based on contract.
Yep. Get them both out of here.
So to me, that screams Sermon for the future. Like, it is his backfield as long as he can stay healthy, which is clearly hard to do in San Francisco.
Right.
Probably the beautiful beaches and whatnot. But
are they? They're not really that beautiful. I'm gonna be honest with you.
If he stays healthy, though, Sermon to the moon for dynasty. But for this year, I'm a little iffy on him. But I love the talent. Like, I think he'll do great.
And I always have to bring up the point that Shanahan had to trade up for him. Like he has no problem taking late running backs, and the fact that he traded up to the 3rd round for him to actually give him decent draft capital, that means that Shanahan has high hopes for him. And he's run that outside zone scheme in college, so he was like that perfect fit. Shanahan's like, that's my guy. I'm going to make sure I get him. He made sure he got his guys this draft, trade up all that capital to get Trey Lance, and then trade up again to get Trey Sermon. So he traded up for his Treys. So, Hollywood, you're a Tennessee Titans fan.
You don't say.
How do you feel about the Titans this year? How do you feel about Julio Jones? How many games does he play this year? I'm not even to see if you like him. I'm just going to ask you, how many games does he play?
I think we'll get more than people expect because they're giving him so much time off, practice. If we can get 12 or more, I'm all in during the season. I'll take it.
Yeah.
I could see 12 easy.
Yeah, I
can see 14 easy, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, I'm just setting it low because you look what he did at Atlanta, last year or the year before. He went out there as a decoy mostly for a few games, and sometimes that's enough. Just being that decoy is going to open up because they have to account for him.
All right.
I'm really glad we got him because
you had nobody else.
Yeah, we had nobody else. I mean, we had A.J. Brown. You got Derrick Henry.
Well, outside of A.J. Brown. I love A.J. Brown. But,
and you got those two, but
y'all didn't appreciate Corey Davis.
I did, but to think that you had –
he took so long.
Yeah, to think that you had Josh Reynolds as your number 2 just wasn't going to work.
Mm.
True.
Jake Locker.
Jake Locker, Marcus Mariota with 7 different head coaches and offensive coordinators.
I actually saw Corey Davis play in the Cotton Bowl versus, of course, Wisconsin. And I lived in Dallas at the time, so once Wisconsin was in the Cotton Bowl, I was like, yeah, I'll take all my money. And they were playing Western Michigan that year, and so that was what I think T.J. Watt, Corey Clement, who's done nothing, and Corey Davis were pretty much like your headliners for that game. And I mean, Corey Davis was balling versus Wisconsin. And I thought he would not be Corey Coleman, but here we are.
But did you see him at all today? Him and Zach Wilson seem to be on quite the same page.
He's not horrible. He's really not.
No.
I think he got off to a bad start because of the foot injury coming out of college. That kind of set him back a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think the expectations of where he was drafted with that injury, I think it just kind of snowballed on him a little bit. But Julio as a number 2 is great.
Shane smacking butts over here.
I saw that.
Smacking butts.
Personally, I'm high, man. I'm high on Tennessee this year, just for the simple fact that I just love what Vrabel's doing there. I think he's
we damn sure can't be no worse on defense. I promise you.
Right. But if you look at, I think he really did his due diligence when he was playing for New England and pretty much taking a couple pages out of Bill Belichick's playbook. He does his thing, and I'm a big Tannehill fan. Listen, a big Tannehill fan. Not only
he's efficient as hell.
Yeah, not only because I have a lot of stock in him, but if you look at the addition of Julio Jones, that's definitely an upgrade over Corey Davis. And I just think that that's going to present more opportunities for him to rush, right? Because he can run the ball, and we see him last year.
Who do you guard at this point?
Right, that's what I'm saying, right? So that's what I'm saying. Is it going to be? It's going to be a situation where not only in fantasy wise they're going to do well individually on those four players with AJ, Jones, Henry, and Tannehill, but just like win wise, and I wrote an article on it a couple months ago. I love them to win about like 12 to 13 games this season.
I could see it.
Right.
And like Julio Jones,
Tannehill, everybody thinks I hate Tannehill. I really don't.
You do.
I mean, he's a good quarterback.
He's the savior of Tennessee.
I don't, but he is exactly what Tennessee has been looking for to make Henry successful. It's not about what the quarterback can do. It's about what you can do to make Henry successful.
Y'all haven't had a quarterback
in a couple of
years, man. Get out of here.
That's what I'm saying. We've not.
Tannehill, he's been very good. He's been very efficient, and he plays play action very well. He throws a good ball downfield, and he can run. He can run an RPO if he has to. But what I love about the Julio Jones edition is what it really does is it makes your running game even stronger. You can no longer say they're stacking the box. It's
yes.
It's
Joey,
that is what I have been saying since they got Julio Jones. And Will, you were talking about it a little bit. Who do you guard? If you double Julio and AJ, Derrick Henry is going to run down your throat. If
he's going to run down your throat anyway.
He's going to anyway. But I wrote an article on him. His true yards per carry last year was 5.3. His true yards per carry could be 8 if you're trying to double AJ and Julio.
If you're not sending the 8 in the box.
If you put 8 in the box, then you've got to try and guard Julio and AJ one-on-one. Right. And if you somehow manage to stop that, Will, you brought something up that I hadn't even considered at this point. Tannehill will just scramble.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
How do you
He's got sneaky wheels.
He does. Well, he was a college wide receiver. for most of his career.
Exactly, and
Yep,
and then
yep.
and then he transitioned over. So I'll be very, very surprised, like personally, if I don't roster at least one of them every single week in DFS this year. I don't care.
Hell, I got both of them.
Yeah, I mean, because you got to think about it. I mean, they're playing the Texans twice, they're playing Jacksonville twice, right, and then the Colts twice.
Yeah.
So
Sucksonville, get it right, Will. It's Sucksonville, man. Come on.
I could see them going. I could see them going 5-1 or even sweeping that conference.
Yeah.
But,
What are they doing with their tight end position?
Who cares? They, you know what they should? They should put. They should make.
Sir, I barely know her.
Oh.
Like I was trying to get as many late round shares of him as I could, just because why not?
What I saw their first official depth chart, it was Jeff Swain was the tight end one. What the hell's that about?
Okay.
I
Since
have
we're
no
on
idea.
the IDP guys show, I need your help.
Sure.
I'm in a redraft 1 QB PPR league
Mm-hmm.
We got this.
with IDP.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I'm sitting at Zeke, Aaron Jones, Swift, Dak, T. Higgins, and Jeremy Chin, and I'm on the clock at 7:07. Jamar Chase is there.
What do you have again? Say it again. I gotta play this back
Zeke.
in my head.
Zeke, Aaron Jones, DeAndre Swift, Dak, T. Higgins, and then Jeremy Chin.
That's what's available.
I'm probably going wide receiver.
Yeah, what's the best receiving options?
It is Chase, Michael Thomas because his ADP hasn't dropped enough yet. Devontae Smith, Kenny Galladay, Deontay Johnson.
I'm probably taking Deontay Johnson. I'm
That's
not
what
gonna
I
lie
was
to you.
thinking too.
Right there.
Are you
There it is.
Targets.
I was
Over
also
Galladay,
thinking. So Aaron Donald and Nick Bosa are still there.
You can.
So here's my thing.
Wait
is
another
it-
round.
when I'm drafting IDP this year, like, so if you don't get one of the Bosas or Daniil Hunter or Myles Garrett, there's so many options late that are, you can get some great just DE2 value late in drafts right now. Like,
Yeah.
and you can get anywhere
but
to the top 20 defensive ends can produce for you. The problem is if you decide you're going to take a
deep, you can pass on a wide receiver.
Right, but right there with Deontay Johnson, I feel like he's
I'm
a
passing
target
on that fool.
hog.
No way.
I-
Get
so,
out
all
of
right,
here
yeah.
with that shit.
He has
You're
drops.
crazy as hell,
Sure, he
Joe.
has
We can
drops.
Get out of here.
He has
Hold on.
drops, but he
Jesus
averages like
Christ.
140 targets a year. It doesn't matter
Yeah,
if you're
but
dropping 15 passes if you're getting targeted 140 times.
Yeah,
Drops
I've
don't matter
been.
if the volume.
I'm all over
continues.
Johnson.
And
I'm like his
Deontay
baby mama.
Johnson had a concussion last year that affected his spatial awareness and his depth perception. He doesn't have that
See, that I
concussion.
didn't know.
How much did he pay you for that?
Yeah, but see, here's the thing. If Galladay's available, I'm just going with Galladay above Johnson because, like, you got to think about not only is he a deep threat, but he also has great hands, right? Unlike Johnson. So, even though Johnson like has more targets or out targets him for the season or even on a weekly basis, Galladay is efficient. He's efficient. You know what I'm saying? So he's gonna get you.
But who's healthier?
But here's my thing. Here's my argument against Galladay, though.
Wait a
So
minute.
Galladay,
Who did Shane?
Galladay has.
I agree.
Shane,
on
who did you have on your
taking
roster?
Galladay at value? I bet you
You're
can
really
wait
gonna
till next round and still get him.
So here's my thing against Galladay.
Exactly. Wait a minute.
Galladay and Deontay
Wait a minute. Who did
Johnson.
Shane say he had on his roster?
Only
Zeke,
one.
Aaron Jones, DeAndre Swift, T. Higgins, Jeremy Chin, and somebody
That's
else.
it.
Dak.
Dak.
He needs.
I'm
I
passing on
would go
Deontay.
get a
the hell out of
receiver
here with
here.
that bullshit.
So here's my deal with Deontay versus Kenny Galladay, right? So Kenny Galladay, he's never been a high volume target guy. He's gotten his yardage off of the deep ball. So that will be
Oh
good
my
with
God.
New York and all, but I feel like it's putting a lot of chickens in one basket. So you're looking at maybe a guy with 100 targets whose depth of target is 15, 16 yards, or you get Deontay Johnson who's getting 140 at 10 yards. And Kenny Galladay, he's not known for separation. He's known for winning 50-50 balls. So every time he's getting a target, he's battling for his reception. Deontay Johnson gets open. That's why he gets targeted. That's why he is also efficient in the red zone, and Ben Roethlisberger actually likes him in the red zone. So I'm going Deontay Johnson all day.
Okay,
Galladay
Here you go,
can't
Joey.
be- can't be a receiver too.
Well, listen,
Okay,
I'll keep track of this. I'll keep track of this during the season. I'll definitely keep track of this during the season. And,
Hey,
yeah,
Will,
yeah,
let's
please.
if Kenny G makes it back to me, I'll take him for you.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll revisit this halfway through. I'd love to actually.
Yeah,
Okay,
you
this
just got to
is
think about it. I
insane.
mean, that guy was a dog in Detroit, and I mean, obviously he does have some injury issues. But when just like I alluded to earlier with Kittle, when they're on the field, those guys are productive. I understand he doesn't get separation a lot of times, but at the same time, it's good. Okay,
Nice.
okay.
Yeah, but what he
Nice.
does is in those 50-50 situations, he does consistently win. That is a
That's
good
what I'm
point.
saying.
He does consistently
That's what I'm
win, and
saying.
he is a
So-
nice red zone target. But I think when it comes to when you're drafting your wide receiver too, I'd rather draft off volume, especially if it's PPR, full point PPR. I'm looking for that 140 target value. Like if I have a guy who almost has an extra 30% of targets over that other guy, like if you have 140 to 109, I have to go with the 140.
I got you.
Right.
I got you.
Is literally the
So,
correct answer.
Joey, so everybody hates Hollywood. They want a piece of Hollywood. Brian, he's got a question for us. He's on deck in the IDP Invitational. He wants y'all's help to beat me. So help him out. I'll sit back and
Absolutely.
listen.
Yeah, what are your options here, Brian? Let's go. Let's lay it in here.
Send him
Come
a
on,
link.
Brian. Better bring that A games. All I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Joey,
You better
Go
get
ahead.
the typing.
I was gonna say I want to talk about a team that I've been dubbing Tennessee Light, and I'm biased because they're one of my 3 favorite
Oh.
teams.
Okay. There's nothing wrong with being biased, by the way. There's nothing wrong with being biased.
It's the Cleveland Browns.
Oh yeah.
Love Cleveland this year.
So the reason I want to talk about them is their offense. Like I'm Baker. The reason I'm a fan is Baker, but I think Baker's got top 10 upside this year, and then that So the real reason I want to talk about him is because this is the IDP guys. Let's talk some defense. That defense is nasty.
Let's
That
do it.
defense is built to beat Kansas City.
On paper,
That's
it's
what they
nasty.
did.
Yeah. So like Myles Garrett, Jadeveon Clowney, J.O.K.
Oh God, Jadeveon Clowney, bullshit with Jadeveon Clowney.
Clowney is a
God, get out of
fantastic
here.
run defender. He's a fantastic run defender.
Phenomenal.
Oh my
Is
God.
to the
I hope-
moon though now because Jacob Phillips just tore his biceps and is probably out for most of the season, if not
Luckily,
all of it.
luckily they signed Anthony Walker on the cheap to start the season because that's now a big signing.
Yep, and I've got him in one of my IDP leagues.
I got some shares of Walker as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
JOK though, he looked phenomenal in his first game. Firecracker, dude.
Yeah, he did.
Firecracker.
I'm so excited. Like when they traded up for that pick, I was like, oh.
Yeah,
But
it was
I-
like,
like,
how did he
first round
last
talent.
that long?
Yeah, first round talent, and he fell to the second round. So, and then their secondary should be pretty good
Their
as well.
secondary is nasty.
Yeah, because they're getting Delpit and Greedy Williams back, which I don't feel like a lot of people are talking about.
And they
And
have
then they
Denzel
added Ron
Ward.
Johnson,
Yep.
and they've still got Denzel
There's a
Ward.
reason they don't talk about Greedy Williams. He has to trip you up by your shoestrings.
Listen. All right,
Come
so
on.
let's talk that secondary for a second. So you have Denzel Ward, who is a top 5 cornerback. You
like
have
Denzel.
Greedy Williams. Greedy Williams is he's a solid slot corner. Put him in the slot. Let him play the slot.
He's out.
They
He
drafted Greg Newsome, who was one of my favorite quarterbacks in this draft.
I
And they got
love
him.
Newsome.
Why? I'm going to interrupt
love
you and
Greg
tell me
Newsome.
why Greg Newsome. Why you both love him? Because I didn't really know a lot about him.
Because Greg Newsome doesn't do anything bad. Like you watch him play. There's not one thing that you watch him play and you're like, he needs to work on this. He needs to work on that. He's got good technique. He's aggressive. He high points. He attacks the ball in the air. He takes good angles. He's just technically sound as a cornerback, and you never see him get beat.
Right. If you want to see him at his best, go back and watch him against Ohio State last year. He ate Justin Fields' lunch and told him to bring some more.
Mm-hmm.
He did. Go back and watch the game.
Hollywood
Everybody
Titans.
loves Justin Fields, and rightfully so. But Greg Newsome was on his ass that whole game.
Yep. So then you go back to last year where the Browns traded for Ronnie Harrison. So they added Ronnie Harrison is such an undervalued addition to that team. Like he played fun. Like he's injury prone slightly. Like last year he missed a lot of time, but when he was on the field, he was phenomenal. He was really good. Bringing back Grant Delpit. So you have Grant Delpit, John Johnson, Ronnie Harrison as your safety trio, a trio of cornerbacks who have all played well. So now you're probably going to play three safeties a lot. Grant Delpit's probably going to drop into the slot if Greedy Williams doesn't, or if they run three corners. And so you have Ronnie Harrison, John Johnson as your two deep safeties or your cover two safeties. Then you have Delpit moving up into the slot. Like it's built to beat Kansas City. They pass the ball so much and they run screens, and it's Travis Kelce. You need to have somebody to cover Travis Kelce. Who's going to cover Travis Kelce? Grant Delpit. Grant Delpit is going to cover Travis Kelce.
Yep.
So there you go. Travis Kelce kind of taken out. Tyreek Hill beats you over the top. You have John Johnson and Ronnie Harrison playing deeper. You have fantastic corners that are going to press him and play tight man. But you have help in your secondary no matter where Tyreek beats you. They're going to double Tyreek.
See, that's where you screwed up, because they ain't, unless they're standing in the damn end zone, they ain't nobody beating Tyreek Hill.
Well, no, you can play a deep safety though. You can play. No, he's so fast. But what I'm saying is, you're going to double Hill. You're going to put Delpit on Kelce, and you're going to make one of those other receivers beat you.
Yeah, I mean,
so
you don't have to look too far. You can just look at the Super Bowl, right? You can just look at what the Buccaneers did with Tyreek. Right?
Yep, that's the blueprint.
That's a blueprint. So I mean,
which is funny because the game that Tyreek went off in the regular season was against the Buccaneers when he cooked Carlton Davis.
They were like,
right.
"Well,
yeah,
we saw what happened here."
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, rightfully so. But that's the reason why these DCs and these OCs are getting paid a bunch of money. Exactly, to make adjustments, right? So I like that you brought that up, though, Shane, because people been coming at me when I say this. I like Cleveland to win that division this year.
Mm-hmm.
I love Cleveland to win this division this year.
Anyone likes you, Will.
I mean,
I picked them as one of my underdogs for the Super Bowl.
You know what I'm saying? They're arguably right now like the best offensive line in the league, right? And then with that combination with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, that's deadly. I mean, that's deadly, like deadly, right? So you got
like Hunt could be a RB1 on anybody's team.
Right.
Absolutely.
He was an RB1 on the Browns.
So right. Listen. So we know why Kareem Hunt got cut from Kansas City, and now he's in Cleveland. All good. But that dude right there could start on every other team. He'd be the RB1, bar none, hands down. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. So that right there, especially with the receivers that they have, Higgins, you got Landry,
OBJ's coming back.
Exactly. They're tight ends, and then there was an upgrade on the defense. So it's gonna be interesting to see. Right now, FanDuel Sportsbook has them at plus 155 to win the division. I'm gonna take all of it. Thank you very much. So I love them to win that division.
Yeah, one of my best friends is a Ravens fan. Like I was a best man at his wedding. We were in the Navy together, and I remember telling him the Browns are going to win the division, and they went 0-16.
No.
And I've just and so every year I've just repeated it, and then 1-15.
Well, listen,
and I was like, one of these days is going to be true. And this year I told him again. He didn't.
But that team,
I think I'm going to be right this year.
They upgraded their offensive line. They have a running game that can eat the clock to keep Mahomes off the field. They have receivers now. OBJ coming back. You have a wide receiver one. You have the best slot receiver in the game in Jarvis Landry. Like he's a wide receiver one from the slot. You have a trio of tight ends with Njoku, Harrison Bryant, and Austin Hooper in a 2 tight end set with Stefanski. It's like the team is literally built to keep Kansas City off the field.
they have depth at what? So the reason I've been calling them Tennessee light is because obviously this is a run first offense like Tennessee.
Right.
But now that the way that they've built their team and added depth, they aren't going to be limited to just running the ball and with Baker's growth. So like they've
Donovan
built
Peoples-Jones,
a wide receiver core that I absolutely love. Like if I'm building a team on Madden, this is how I want to build it. You've got route technicians in Landry and OBJ. You've got a big man that can beat you deep in DPJ. You've got a speedster in Schwartz, and then you got Higgins who can kind of do it all. So like that right there is just like, it's almost like, who do you guard? How do you guard them? Oh shit, we've still got to stop the run too. So like they feel Tennessee light-ish to me, and that's why I've been going that route.
And don't forget, Will was talking about Kareem Hunt, and I saw somebody put on Twitter that like Kareem Hunt is like one of, I think, 3 running backs or something like that with 16 receiving touchdowns since 2017.
Wow.
Like
yeah, he's a phenomenal receiver.
Yeah, like he's not just a good runner, but I mean, if any of those receivers are having a bad day or just whatever, just getting covered, I mean, you just got to worry about Hunt out the backfield receiving and taking it to the house as well.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the Browns definitely built a fantastic team, and I think it'll be nice to see Baker actually unleashed a little bit this year.
Are we drinking Brown? Hold on, what are we drinking over there?
This right here?
Yeah.
A little. It may or may not be a little Maker's 46. It may or may not be.
I saw he was drinking Brown. I was like, oh, that's what we're doing tonight?
Oh, have at it. Yeah.
I was thinking about going new. I was like, you know what? Let me put some rocks in there. Let me put a little chaser. But it's something to get the night started, get a little loosened up, get these good conversations going.
Hey, I'm straight up old school. I'm going with the Bud Heavies. You can't bring
the 24 ounce heavies.
I love it.
So Brian did ask who we think he should pick. So between Xavier McKinney,
Hollywood, so help him
Justin Reed, and Tyrann Mathieu.
I know who I would pick.
I want to say
McKinney. I gotta hear this.
McKinney. I was just gonna say I'm saying Xavier McKinney.
Yeah,
he's got the most upside of the 3. I mean, Tyrann Mathieu only had 62 tackles last year. He did have 6 interceptions, but his tackle numbers were the worst, I think, since he started in the league. Justin Reed's playing a lot of deep safety with the Texans. Who knows what his role is going to be this year, because who knows what the hell the Texans are doing with anything.
They're going to be bad. Reed might
he will be on the field quite a bit.
Yeah, Reed might be the pick because that team is going to be awful. And that could just lead to a lot of tackles for him potentially. So
yeah,
personally, I like Mathieu. I just have memories of the Honey Badger at LSU, and he still is.
He's a playmaker.
Matthews is more of a real life.
Dude is nice.
So here's my biggest problem with Mathieu this year is last year it was his first year in his career he didn't have a sack. So it shows how the Chiefs are using him. He only had 62 tackles. He did have 6 interceptions, but he had like a career low in tackles his first year without a sack. I feel like they're using him too much in coverage instead of letting him be this aggressive playmaking safety that he's known to be. So I think it's not to take away from how good Mathieu is. It's how the Chiefs are using him in their defense. Plus, they just added Nick Bolton, and they have Willie Gay coming in to play this year. Anthony Hitchens still there. So, I mean, their linebacker group is, to me, better than it has been. So you might see even less tackle numbers from Mathieu. So if I'm looking for a good floor, it's going to be Reed or McKinney for me. McKinney I like because when he came in last year after being injured to start the season, he played very well at the end of the season. And I think it made Jabril Peppers more versatile. They could do whatever they wanted with Peppers. He could play more linebacker position, and McKinney and Julian Love can play in the safety. And I just think McKinney himself is incredibly talented. So I'm going to go McKinney here. Then probably Justin Reed and Mathieu, but those two are pretty much like neck and neck for me.
Yeah, I agree with that, McKinney.
So we got another one here from our good buddy Oklahoma Dougie. He wants to know Patrick Queen or Joe Schobert.
He's doing this because he knows I'm a Schobert stan, even though he just got traded to Pittsburgh. Me and Doug actually went back and forth on this.
I'm all in on Schobert.
Doug makes a great
Schobert right now in
point.
Pittsburgh.
He makes a great point. He's saying
He
that
does.
Joe Schobert is definitely a sell high right now because he probably won't have another 144 tackle season in Pittsburgh. But
I love Schobert because he came from Cleveland, but I think I'm going Patrick Queen here. I'm not the IDP expert, so don't listen to what I'm saying. But I think there are a lot of talented players in the Pittsburgh defense that could limit Schobert's ceiling. And that's as a novice IDP analyst, if you will.
No, that's solid.
That would be the reason for, like, from my standpoint of why I would lean Queen over Schobert, because I think Queen is kind of a focal point of that defense.
Yep.
Not saying that Schobert won't be, but again, you've got TJ Watt,
I will say
Fitzpatrick, and others.
Yep. Go ahead, Hollywood.
I will say if you're going dynasty, I think if you're going dynasty, you go with Patrick Queen because he's much younger. He's got a lot more ahead of him. If you have Schobert, I'm not concerned. I think it hurts Devin Bush a little more than it hurts Schobert.
Agreed.
I think that's where the disconnect is. It's not that Schobert's going to drop down. I think it's Bush is going to drop down. I think he drops down from that low-end LB1, high-end LB2 to a definite LB2.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I mean, with Pittsburgh, they run dime package 20% of the time. Last year, they ran it 20% of the time. So they're running one linebacker 20% of the time. And even with Schobert being so new, he is already wearing the green dot. He's calling defensive plays instead of Bush. It's not Bush calling plays. So that tells me that when they go into that dime package, it's going to be Schobert staying on the field. It's not going to be Devin Bush. So Bush is going to go – he's going to drop down to like an 80, 85% snap guy, while Schobert's going to be your only 3-down linebacker. So the thing is, everybody's saying – I brought up a point that Schobert is pretty good in coverage. That's why he's winning that spot over Bush. But he hasn't been great in coverage, but he doesn't need to be. If they're going to be in dime coverage, he literally has dime defensive backs all around him. All he's there to do is be a run thumper. All he's there is just stop the run, make tackles. So honestly, he could have another 140 tackle season in Pittsburgh. I mean, it's a very, very potent defense. He plays run heavy teams like Cleveland and Baltimore twice a year. I mean, run up the middle. I mean, that's tackle opportunities like crazy, plus teams that throw to the tight end quite often. So, I mean, for me, it's like Hollywood said, if it's dynasty, I'm probably going Queen, but for redraft, I'm going Schobert.
Yeah, so I think I'm going Queen on both, just for the simple fact that if you look at the team that he's on, right, and the system that they've run, they've had like great success, and they have like a blueprint, not only with linebackers but also like just the defense as a whole. So I like him, and then also like the age factor, like hands down on dynasty, he's a no-brainer for that. No-brainer.
Yeah. Jeezy, what do you think, bud?
No, I would be going with Queen as well. I've been trying to get my hands all over Queen ever since he got drafted. When the guy's just a stud, and I just like what he does. I mean, I like Schobert. I mean, I hear what you're saying about in redraft, but I'm pretty much with Will on this one.
Yeah, I personally think just like Schobert's, he's like the most disrespected linebacker. Like even by me myself, like his first year when he had, I think it was like 141 tackles, his second year in the league. It was like his first full year as a starter. I said, "The hell is Joe Schobert?" I was like, I had no idea who he was, and I'm like, this guy's got 140 plus tackles. Who the hell is this guy? And then he's making plays. He's coming up with sacks. He's coming up with interceptions, and it was like. I mean, you just look at his playmaking ability as opposed to Queen. So you have Queen, what do you have as a rookie? 110 tackles, somewhere around in there, 109 tackles.
Mm-hmm.
Schobert had his lowest total as a starter was 103, and I think he played in 13 games that year. Every other year, it's been 133, 141, and 144, all his starters.
So,
and that's
so
with
he'll be able to duplicate that this year?
I think it'd be he could easily duplicate that, yeah, because he's going to be on the field. He's going to be he's going to be the 3-down linebacker for that team. Bush is going to be the guy leaving the field, and all he has to do is tackle because he's going to be covered by dime corners.
Got you.
Yeah. So
What am I choosing?
Brian says he's holding all of you in contempt. McKinney, it is. So I mean, he's trying to beat me. This is on you boys. It's not on me. So.
So,
You know,
so first
I'm
thing,
just-
Brian. You all is a lot of people. So I'm not gonna take any responsibility for this. But I just gave my 2 cents. But you all.
But
is a
look
lot
at
of
this.
people.
Look at this. He doesn't see. He knows what's up. Look, he doesn't follow.
Brian,
that
you
shit
you
up
don't
with
you don't
credit
have to
where
say
it's
that.
due. Hollywood. You know, he
It's
has
Hollywood.
to.
You don't have to say that. We know it's
Hey.
shit. It's all right.
Hey, he knows. Hey, he knows when he sees game. What the hell, Shane? What the hell, man?
I'm sorry, man.
He
I
knows
just
when
thought
he's
that
beat.
funny.
See,
Shit.
everybody. Hey, I'm like Mike Tyson. Everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the mouth, baby.
Punch in the face.
Come on with
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, but as long as we can outlast you, I'm gonna whoop your ass.
Oh shit!
Holy
Oh,
hell!
I hate you, Joey. I hate you. Oh yeah, I'm here every Saturday, Brian. Don't even question me. I'm here every Saturday.
No, Brian's gonna be with us next Saturday.
Oh, is he?
He's on the lounge next Saturday.
Oh, is he?
Oh my God. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward
So-
to that.
Somebody
Yeah,
should be fun.
I'm pretty excited to hear about
Yeah.
your guys' draft when you come on now.
Nice.
Hopefully
Yeah,
it'll
y'all
be
better
done
start
by then.
selling some tickets right now because it's about to get real next Saturday. I'm telling you.
Look, I'm rolling the sleeves up.
Shoot.
Okay, y'all want to hear how much of a asshole I am?
Yes.
Sure. Why not?
I
Please.
created a league. It's free, but it is full IDP, full offensive starters. 2 QB, 3 running back, 4 wide receiver, 2 tight end, 2 flex, and a kicker.
Damn.
4 D line, 4 linebacker, 4 DB, 2 IDP flexes.
That's a lot of people. That's getting deep.
Wow.
Deep. and I
That's
love
getting
it.
deep.
Yeah.
You're rostering like 5 cornerbacks.
I've
What's
got
the
You know
bench
what that?
like?
You know what that is? That's ball clanging deep right there, baby.
That's Tennessee
Ball
ball
clanging.
clinging deep.
That's exactly. Those things rattle for days deep. That's what I'm talking about.
Please don't ever talk about your balls again, Hollywood.
I have 8 DBs rostered, actually.
My balls are fabulous, baby. Come on now.
Oof.
Jesus H. Christ.
Are we
Yes.
still talking about football? We're still talking about
We're
This
not
is-
sure.
This is all on you, Joey.
This
is
how is this
all
on
on
me?
you,
We're
Joey.
talking about your balls.
Hey.
Well,
This is your
ladies
show,
and gentlemen, we are officially off the rails.
Oh yeah, that's bound to happen at some
An hour
point.
and 22 minutes.
That's not bad. That's not bad. I
I'd
mean,
say
last
that's pretty damn good with me. And
week 2 it took us 13 minutes.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
we've actually talked
That's
some
actually
legit football.
surprisingly good time.
linebacker picks: Tremaine Edmonds, Jayon
Let's see.
Brown, Luke
Yeah,
Wilson.
Perma's another. He's
Oh.
another fellow league mate trying to beat me. I love
I
this.
literally-
I love this that people want from a Hollywood.
I
Shit.
literally
Drake.
just dropped my top 25 linebackers today for redraft.
You know,
Drake
You did.
Greenlaw.
You know what?
You
I'm just
could have
reading
waited.
the,
You could have done it a
linebackers
couple
I
days
have on
earlier.
this team.
shoot. People,
All right.
motherfuckers better recognize Hollywood's the game, baby. Come on.
Oh,
Yeah,
Oh.
you owe. You know,
Oh.
Joey. You know, baby. Don't you owe me?
Hollywood. The only thing I have to say about you is I hate drafting with you.
Okay, let's talk about football. Miami's secondary.
He's like, no, we're just gonna cut that out real quick.
Miami's secondary.
Here's that pause.
Yes.
I mean,
Be
Shane,
one
are
of the
you sure
best
you don't
in the
want to talk
league.
about your balls?
Yeah.
No, I don't want to talk about my balls.
I don't even know what's going on today.
I don't want to talk
I don't
about
even
my
know
balls,
what's going on.
guys.
I have no idea. I have no idea what's going on right now.
No,
have
you
no
shouldn't.
idea.
It's all right. It
Balls
happens.
talk, apparently.
Wait, so Miami secondary, yes.
Miami secondary.
Byron
could be one
Jones,
of the best in the league.
Xavier Howard.
Tell me why I'm right or why I'm wrong.
You're pretty much right. I mean,
Javon Holland, that's
as a,
why you're
as-
right.
As a secondary, I don't think they're the best. They have one of the best outside cornerback tandem, Xavier Howard, Byron Jones. Javon Holland's very good, but he's a rookie. Eric Rowe played good last year, but I don't think they believe in him, to be honest with you,
I don't
because
think they do either.
I think they're playing Brandon Jones a little more with Javon Holland this year,
Yep.
which I'm still up in the air on Brandon Jones because he didn't really play much last year. So
I'm up
it's
in the
good.
air on Brandon Jones, but I'm all in on Javon Holland.
Javon Holland's
You
good.
guys haven't even talked about my favorite
Yeah, he
player
is.
in their secondary.
Huh. Who?
Noah
Who,
Igbenogany.
Nick Needham?
Wow, that's because I can't
Oh
say
my
his
God.
name.
Yeah, you avoid that. Yeah, you gotta avoid that.
War damn eagle. That's why I can
You
say his
You
name.
gotta avoid that. Sometimes, listen. The name
Don't ever
is-
bring him up because I can't say it. Who's it? Noah what?
Yeah.
Just call him Iggy. Just call him
Iggy.
Iggy.
Oh my
Yes.
You
God.
guys guess who this is?
Who is it?
Who is it? Wait.
Look.
I
That's
don't know.
Hawaii Bowl.
Xavier Howard.
Is it really?
Nice.
Stephen Howard's fucking good.
Yeah,
What do
every
you have,
time you guys name a player, if I got an autograph, I'm just gonna go grab it and just show off.
What do you have? 10
Jesus Christ, you
interceptions
got
last year?
5,000 autographs, dude. Come on now.
I got quite a bit.
All right,
I
if we're
told
doing
you I
that,
was.
I'll go
I
get Jerry
told you
Rice
I
real
was a
quick. Hold on.
pristine. I was a pristine auction degenerate. So I mean,
Well, I like it, man. Listen, I like it. So here's the deal, Jeezy. When I was at the expo last week, they had a draft, right? A live draft.
Draft
And there
night
was,
out.
Yeah, draft night out. Were you there, Shane?
was that the one
No,
with the
I was
with
hosting
the young,
draft
with the young
night
boy
in from right
with
here.
the young boy Hutch?
Huh?
Yeah,
that the same one with the
Hutch was
young
in
boy
Kings
Hutch?
Classic. Yeah.
Yeah. So cool story, right?
That's my Jerry Rice.
I go in there. We're drafting, right? I'm part of the draft night out, and I go in and I see there's a table, and they have a couple of signed helmets, they have a couple of signed footballs, and they have one Najee Harris Alabama signed jersey, crimson.
Oh.
So I go in there, and everyone gets a ticket, right? So I'm like, okay, cool. So they're having a raffle. And I'm a giving person. I'm all about the charity, right? So I buy $20. The raffle ticket was $5, right? So I buy $20 worth, right? So I get another 4 additional tickets. So they're going through it. The bobbleheads are being given away. There's signed footballs given away. Cool. And then they're like, hey, Kenny Galladay signed football. So I'm looking up and I'm praying to the man upstairs. I'm like, listen, I need this. I need this right now. My name doesn't get called. Cool. So I'm kind of like down and out for a little bit, and then the last prize is the Najee Harris signed Alabama crimson jersey, and I knew it. They're like, hey, with one L, and I knew that because everybody makes fun of the way my name is spelled, but there's a reason for that. We'll get into that later. And I knew it, and so they
Need to
called
get
me
into it right now.
They call it. They call my freaking number, and they call my name, and I won that Najee Harris signed Alabama
Nice.
jersey.
That's
I-
beautiful.
I remember seeing people tweeting about that
Whoa.
Yeah.
as a prize.
Did I just hear somebody
was-
on this show mention
I was
Alabama?
this close to
The frick out of here.
Roll Tide.
buying one myself.
Rotad.
Roll Tide.
Instead, I bought another Jerry Judy jersey. as
Oh
you
my
can
God.
see.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Me and Shane is freaking to straight throw bows right now. If I ever
You guys
get
are
one of
close
those
to each
roll
other.
guns, somebody's catching elbows.
I got it framed. I got the authenticated card on there as well. So I'm
Yeah.
pretty psyched. I'm pretty psyched. I'm gonna make that part of my studio, my backdrop. So pretty excited about that. That was it was the best $20 I ever spent.
Yeah, that's a pretty badass $20.
Yeah, there's no way I'm going to go on pristine auction and get one for $20. So
Right.
You caught a lick for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So there was a couple people that are like Steelers fans, and they wanted to make a bet, or they wanted to go ahead and try to barter. But I'm not for it. You know what I'm saying? He's a rookie. He's in a good situation. I don't know. For all I know, he could be playing for 10 years and then be a first ballot Hall of Famer, and then that jersey is whatever.
He balled out tonight. So
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So if you look at the way that so great point, right? The first game that he played, he definitely looked like Najee from Alabama, right? There was no like drop off or anything. He set for that for
Oh yeah.
the game, for the professional game, and he's gonna get all the shares. He's gonna get all the carries because Pittsburgh's not gonna be, in my opinion, they're not gonna be that good. They may finish third in that division, but at the end of the day, he's gonna get all the carries that you can ask for, and then also being able to catch out the backfield is going to be another good thing for him. So it's one of those deals.
Can we rest in peace, Benny Snell, please?
Oh, please.
Can we?
I think he's done.
Can we just say a prayer for Benny Snell and lower him down and get him out of here?
Yeah, thank you, Benny, for all the contributions. We really appreciate you. Thanks for coming out. I wish you the best. Let me know how it goes.
That was the kindest words I've ever heard anybody say for Benny Snell. I thank you.
Yeah. So real quick, guys, I've always practiced like acceptance speeches. Just for one day, if I receive an award, maybe I do, maybe I don't. But I want to make sure that I'm ready. So I practice these acceptance speeches. I do. So
I probably should do the same thing for no reason, though. I'm not going to win shit.
All right, Will, I have a question, Will.
Yes, sir.
I need to hear the story behind the 1L.
Okay, so this is all right, good. I'm glad you put me on the spot. So this is a true story, but not a good story. Okay, so
lie.
I'm getting into it. So I'm first generation here, right? Both my parents are from Dominican Republic, and my mom and my dad were driving by Wilmington, Delaware, and hold the laughter, guys, please. And my mom had a great idea that, hey, if we have another son, we're gonna name him Wilmington. So,
that was the most.
again,
You were named after Delaware?
You were named after Delaware.
Oh,
Look,
and he froze.
you screwed him up. He done froze.
He's so upset about it. He froze.
Yeah.
All I could think of when
he
he said he
froze.
was named after Wilmington, Delaware, was if you ever seen Wayne's
I'm
World,
sorry.
they go through the whole screen set. All right, go ahead.
Yeah.
Continue.
I'm sorry, my battery did about freeze.
You did real quick. You said I was named after Wilmington, Delaware, and it went.
They don't like me talking about it. They don't like me talking about it. So that's what happened. So okay.
Oh shit.
I'll re-say it. So then, yeah. So my mother and father from Dominican Republic, and they drove by Wilmington, Delaware. My mom had a great idea to name her next son Wilmington, and here I am. So that's where that name is from. It's not a good
Was your
story.
full name Wilmington?
Yes.
Oh,
We
no
don't.
shit.
Give me another one of these.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
We don't tell anybody that. It's just Will.
Yeah, it's funny. That is probably one of the most Dominican things I've ever heard in my life. So,
Oh, shit.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it's great. Like I wouldn't mind being like Carlos or Jose or Guillermo,
Oh, shit.
but instead, my name is Wilmington. So
I mean,
it was-
my son, who I just had go get me a beer just now, his mom's Dominican, and like his name is like a mashup of my middle name and her middle name. I'm just like, whatever.
yeah,
You just
we
don't argue with a Dominican woman. That's
like,
just what I
Dominicans are
learned.
known for that. We just make things up. Like it's just like what crazy. That's ridiculous. Did you just make that up? We did. So it was rough growing up in New York City with that name, but now it works to my favor. You know, it looks good on resumes, and when you're replying to emails like, "Hey, hope all is well," per our conversation, etc.
Listen, Wilmington though, it just exudes class. You
Oh,
sound like a
classy.
classy motherfucker with the name Wilmington. You're just like,
You can't be. I mean, there's no other option. Right? Joey, there's no other option.
No,
You can't be a
listen.
killer with that name.
a Wilmington.
That's true.
A Wilmington is getting a call for every interview ever.
right.
Oh,
Absolutely.
100%.
Are you serious? Listen,
You're
that's
never going to have to
that's
worry about
16
not
font.
getting a call back.
That's in 16 font on my resume. Like I make sure it's the highlight, because you got to listen.
Bam.
You got to like, hey, we're getting callbacks. We may not get the job, but we're getting a call back.
Yo, that's all you need, though. That's all you need.
That's it. I get my foot in the door. Like, hey, hope all is well. Hope you had a great weekend. Per our last conversation, or whatever, and then we're good to go. So
just so you guys know, the only reason we actually brought him onto IDP, guys, is because we knew his first name, and we were like, you know what, we need to class up this team a little bit. So before we even met him, I was just like, yeah, bring him on.
I mean, you do have Hollywood. You need something to counteract that.
My point exactly.
So,
All right, to go off the rails slightly real quick, Shane, you're a Browns fan.
Yes.
What happened with Myles Garrett the other day? Did you hear what he did on the field?
No.
He legitimately took a shit on the field.
Shit talker.
Yeah,
that's nasty.
Why though?
it's ridiculous.
That was my exact question. I'm like,
obviously he had to.
so I'm like, is this guy here? Is he all there? He hits a quarterback in the head with a helmet. He takes a shit on his own practice field.
Dude, his stomach had to
Freaking
hurt
Johnny
him
the
because
Greek
I don't
would
know.
love
It
him.
had to be. Well, that's who told me about it.
Joey, do you want me, Joey, are you ready to see me piss off at least 40% of the people on here?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, that would be maybe 2.
Sheesh.
Oh my God, no! Get out of here
Oh, and
with
it's
those
signed.
cowgirl crap.
Yeah,
Get
please.
out of here.
Please.
I
okay?
love Hollywood's response is just
My
sheesh.
I got his Raiders rookie card. If that means anything.
my laptop.
So the reason I
automatically
wasn't sure if it would piss off Jeezy is because it is from Pristine Auction. But I knew it would bother. I knew it would bother Hollywood simply because it's Alabama, and I knew it would bother Will because it's the Cowboys.
Right.
Oh, that is. It's Cowgirls and Alabama.
Yeah.
Oh, you're.
So he
dirty,
didn't even
rotten
notice how much he should be
fuck.
pissed off.
Oh shit! Now I'm all sorts of pissed off. You know what? I know you have to go, and I was going to let you say your goodbyes, but I don't think I am no more. I'm done with you. I'm done with you.
He's just gonna see you later, Shane.
Yeah. See you later, Shane. Peace out, bro.
Bye, Hollywood. I love you.
I don't like you, and I blame Joey for all this shit. This is Joey's fault. He booked you, so this is his fault.
That's right. I'll take it.
But no, Shane's got to go. Tell us what you're working on. Tell us where you're at. All the good stuff you're doing, man.
Do you have 10 years?
Let's give it a quick
Well,
breakdown.
You know what I
so-
have listed. What I have left is debatable. So just go ahead.
Okay, so right now we're in the middle of Polly's playoff, which is the charity tournament that I run for Alzheimer's. I think we're very close to being complete with that. I am the co-founder of the Fantasy Football Collective. You can follow us on Twitter at @FF_collective. That is spelled KOLLECTIV. I'm the co-host of the Fantasy Nightcap and the host of Collective Knowledge, which is a show to get to know the fantasy industry. And tomorrow night, myself and my co-host from the Nightcap, Fox, are hosting a best ball draft on Underdog, and we'll be streaming that live on YouTube. So if you guys are interested, hit me up in the DMs, and I'll send you the link, because Fox has to be the last person in the draft so that we can start at the right time.
Cool.
I send pics and DMs, so
Oh, Jesus. We're back to this. Okay, I'm out now. Peace. Joey, thanks for having me. Hollywood, love you. Will and
Yep.
Jeezy,
Yes,
it
sir,
was a
my man.
blast.
Later,
Welcome
man.
back anytime, brother.
Thank you, man.
about to
Yeah.
DM right now.
Oh, God.
You're so weird.
Oh shit.
Shane's like, shit, I gotta get out of here quick. He's like, honey, don't look at my phone. Holy hell.
Oh.
So, Will, what are your plans on with the team? Are you're gonna keep up with the DFS stuff, or what's going on?
Yeah, man. So, with IDP guys going to be doing some betting content throughout the year, man. That's, like I said, that's my passion. Doing player props, some fantasy content as well, and we're thinking about doing like a weekly show where we go live prior to the games and just talk what we like, not only fantasy wise, but sports betting wise and player prop wise. So definitely looking forward to it, man. On with his campus to Canton as well, doing some college
Nice.
football betting and DFS with those guys, and Viper Viper Network.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you there too. I did a little bit of writing with the Vipers too.
Yeah, absolutely. So doing some.
That's what Nate was telling me. He's like, I have somebody coming on, and he said your name. I was like, oh yeah, I just met him the other day.
yeah. So, and doing some stuff with fantasy absurdity as well. I'm sorry,
nice
absurdity. So yeah, those guys are cool, man. They were the ones that gave me pretty much the welcome to the fantasy world, and I'm doing some betting content on them. They have a couple articles up right now on their site about some over unders for the year, regular season wins totals. So we're going to be doing that, man, and to the moon, man. We're trying to take this to the moon. You know what I'm saying? Not only fantasy wise, but sports bet wise. Like I said before, if you're not on, if people are not trying to get on, you're going to be left behind. You're going to be obsolete. For the simple fact that right now it's legalized in 11 to 12 states. We got another 11 states getting on board prior to the football season coming, or by the end of the year. So that's going to bring up the total 22 to 23. So it's huge, man. It's huge. You know what I'm saying? So get on board, or if not, get left behind.
Yep. Nice. Jeezy, what do you got going on in the future? I know you got the tournament going. What else you got going on?
That's literally what I do. I create leagues, I join leagues, and I beat people.
Damn.
You know, all the content creation, the writing, the analysis. I think that's you guys. You know, you guys are great at it. I like to do competition creation. I do some stuff where I just, I create leagues and I say, hey, you guys are super smart, allegedly. So come over here and let's talk about it.
Let's test your knowledge.
Well, because that's the thing, though. Like you guys are obviously super knowledgeable. You know your stuff, right? But you can write a million articles. You can tweet a million, pieces of analysis. But at the end of the day, I feel as though you got to put it on the battlefield. You know what I mean? You got to join a league, create a league, whether it's for charity, whether it's for money, whether it's just for bragging rights.
Yeah.
And that's where it's at. And so, someone like me, I like to create the opportunity and just have the opportunity to, test you guys out.
Yeah, compete. I will say the one thing,
man.
The one trick that I've run into when I play in leagues now that I've written a ton, like I have over 200 articles now between IDP guys, the Vipers, and I wrote a couple for rumboys.net. I sometimes talk myself into players. Like if I'm writing on a player and I like him, sometimes I talk myself into liking him too much because I've done so much research. I'm like, you know what? I should really like this guy a little more, I think. And then next thing you know, I'm overdrafting him. I'm like, I could have fucking waited.
I also love when you guys release an article or something while we're drafting, and I just take your players.
Oh, I know it happens.
That's always fun.
See, this is why I waited till the IDP guys invitation was over, and then because we just finished our draft today, so my redraft rankings just dropped today for linebackers, and it'll be later in the week for defensive backs and defensive linemen. I was like, "Fuck you guys." Fuck you guys. This is a competition. We're gonna wait till the draft's over.
But that's what I've been running with the Get Right Fantasy Network. And they've been on. I don't know if you guys see me tweeting about it, but basically they run these satellite mocks Monday through Thursday, and they rank them. They've got their own. It's about a group of 4, and they just rank these things out, and the top 3 go on to Friday, where it's like a mock of champions, essentially 12. 3 times 4 is 12. And the top 3 of that one has various prizes. The first place making it to their listener league and whatnot. But, something like that, I like working with them because it's part of my whole thing of competition creation. And, just doing those mocks, those are reps. Those are reps for drafting. They do 1 QB, 2 QB. They vary it up. I actually won their Friday last week. Friday, I won it.
Nice.
I got first place, That thing put that thing in a Louvre, man. That mock was amazing. But you know, they're someone who I like working with because they fit what I do. It's all about competition. It's all about helping other people get better. And you know, when you're, you know, it's one thing to do a mock just by yourself against 11 bots. It's another thing to do a mock with 11 people who are really knowing what they're doing and really trying to beat you in that mock. And so, you know, that's just kind of what I'm out here doing. I'm out here just trying to get these dubs, man. You know what I'm saying?
Challenging people.
I hear you, man. Nice.
Well, I'm going to have to call it a night myself, gentlemen. I got to wake up in the morning, get prepared for a freaking hurricane.
Ooh.
Good luck, man. Good luck out there.
Hey, here's from Florida, where we don't have any hurricanes right now.
No,
Stay safe,
yeah,
buddy.
no. How about is that like I'm getting a hurricane in Connecticut and Florida's like, yeah, we're just loving life on the beach.
Love and life, man.
But I want to thank you guys for coming on. I really appreciate it. Will, I can't wait to work with you. Jeezy, I can't wait to beat you. I mean, I can't wait to play you in your tournament.
Shots fired. Shots fired. Yeah, baby.
But it was.
I've gone out of my way. I've gone out of my way to try to compete against Joey.
Yeah,
the only reason I joined the Warrior Bowl was for the hope of getting in his conference, but I didn't. But you know, it's all about just beating Joey and just embarrassing the guy. I love it.
It's not just you, Hollywood. It's not just you that says it to me. I don't know. I attract it, I guess. I don't know. I take it as a compliment, though. I think.
Yeah,
you should.
You got to, man.
You should.
You got to give the people what they want, man.
Yeah, what they say, you can't be the best unless you beat the best. So I mean,
I appreciate that.
Very true. Very true.
All right.
You know, a great man once said, "Whether you like it or whether you don't, it's the best thing going today."
Ooh, is that a Hollywood quote?
No, that's a Ric Flair quote.
Woo! Okay, let's go.
But I want to thank you guys all for coming on. Will, you can find Will at biasopinions_. You can find Jeezy at the official_ACG, both on Twitter. My co-host Hollywood at Hollywood Titan. The guy right here, Joey the Tooth, at Joey the Tooth IDP. Join us again next week. Love you guys. Thank you very much.
See you, man. Be good.
We out.
No, we ain't out. I say we out.
Okay, well, shit. Womp, womp, womp.
Peace, fellas.
Joey said I'm out. We ain't out. Now we out.
Now we out.